back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jessica and I created Dolled Up by Jay. So in today's video, it's that time of year coming up, which is super crazy. The end of 2020, like the worst year for a lot of people. I had an inspo and I thought it was the right time to share what I found to be the best beauty products I discovered in 2020. And it wasn't all bad, okay? The year wasn't all bad. There were some amazing product releases and products that I now love so much. So without further ado, let me share with you what I found to be my favorites of 2020. And please, as well, before the video begins, give it a like. It really helps the algorithm. And also, if you could subscribe, I would love to have you back here. All right, let's get to the video. Okay, so first item that I have to just put on first is the Dior Air Flash Foundation. I know this isn't a new release for 2020, but it's the first time I tried it and it's literally like game changer. Like this foundation is incredible. It is so good. Oh, it's like literally a spray can of makeup. You basically apply it. I usually apply it onto a sponge and then buff it all over. And I thought it would honestly be like a huge mess. I thought it would get everywhere. It does get a little on your hands when you're spraying it, but overall it's just so fucking good and it just glides like a dream. It still has a really high level of coverage for something that's in a spray, and I honestly love it. You get 2 ounces of product, and so a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't really last that long, it doesn't have that much, but I'm like, a lot of foundations, honestly, this is 70 mils. I have another couple foundations here. One of them is only 50 and one of them is only 30. So I don't understand when people say this doesn't last long at all, because it actually has double the volume of a lot of foundations out there. So just FYI, if you've ever wanted to try it and you're on the fence, this has lasted me since the summer. It is now, by the time this uploads, it's now December. I haven't obviously used it every day, but just to give you an idea, it's still like pretty heavy in the can. And I only use like 2 sprays for my whole face. So strongly recommend if you like a very like luminous, airbrushed, somewhat dewy, somewhat natural finish. This is for you. It is beautiful, 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 and I'm so happy I discovered it. I actually have a bunch of complexion products to share that really changed the game for me this year. So I got both the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation and the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. Now they do have a Dior Forever Foundation as well. I tried that, hated it. I'm gonna do a separate video about it. But the Skin Glow, again, obviously, I like a nice dewy glow. I don't like anything matte. I have dry skin personally, so mattes just don't work on me, especially in the winter. But if you like a nice, kind of, this is definitely a full coverage, like a full coverage, but dewy, glowy, just lustrous. This is definitely kind of like this, but on steroids, but not as, it doesn't blend as easy. Like it's definitely a little thicker, but it's still just so beautiful. I wear the shade, well, this was my summer shade. I shouldn't be wearing it now unless I'm tanning. It's 3W0. If I wear this without a tan, it looks crazy compared to my hands, but it's just so good. This is honestly though so dewy that I feel I do need to powder my forehead and chin so I don't look sweaty, but then the rest of the face is just like glow. And then this concealer in general, this is amazing. The doe foot on it is honestly massive. Like it's double the size, double even triple of the Nars or like the Maybelline Fit Me. It's just massive. And honestly, for the price, it's not that bad. I think it was like $40, which is exactly the same as many Sephora brands. And you do get 11 milliliters, which is a decent amount for concealer. And I use 2W0 and that works so well for me. And I'm more of like a yellow toned undertone skin. And honestly, this has barely run out. I've been using this consistently since July. And look, I still have over half left. So sometimes just because makeup is a lot up front doesn't mean that it's not worth it, because it will last you in the long run. Just look at the volume of what you're buying. Another complexion product is something that I rediscovered in 2020 that I kind of had been putting off for a while. I was like, I don't know why I just stopped wearing it. There was something about it. I don't know if they changed the formula. I just stopped liking it. I decided to try it again, and then I honestly just fell in love with it again. And this is the Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. This is such a classic. I have it on my face right now, if that's what you're wondering. Oh, I look so dewy and luminous. This is fabulous. I wear the shade St. Moritz Medium 1. It is so good. Basically like a medium to sheer coverage. I'd probably say more on the medium side. If you don't want to have that heavy like foundation feeling on your skin, like I can touch my face right now and like I don't feel like there's going to be transfer. Like obviously if I start rubbing it there will be, but I don't feel like it's like coming off on my fingers. Like maybe a little bit, but like not that much. This is just if you want to like get up and go, or if you just want to have more of a natural face. Obviously I'm wearing fucking eyelashes and liquid lipstick. I'm not that natural right now. I just don't really feel like doing a full-on foundation right now, but yeah, this is amazing. I haven't tried the new Laura Mercier. It's on my list, but I also don't want something that's, I hear it's really sheer, and I don't love like a sheer face, especially for winter. So if you're looking for a good tinted moisturizer for winter time, get the Nars. It will not disappoint, especially if you're someone that struggles with finding yellowy undertones for your skin to neutral. Nars is amazing for that. So that's like my go-to for like yellow needs for skin, aside from Dior now. Dior has like figured out my life for me, but Nars and Dior is like so good. Next is a product that I was late to the game with, but I honestly love it, and I don't know why I didn't discover it earlier. This is a perfect no makeup product actually to go perfectly with this type of thing. This is the YSL Touchy Clot. This has been around for like God knows how long, like since the dinosaurs roamed the earth. The only thing about it, to give you perspective, this about $45, 11 milliliters. I still have barely used half since summer. This 2.5 milliliters. 2.5 milliliters. Just let that rest. And I think this is like 50 or $55. So you're getting actually more than 4 times less product for the same price than the Dior, which is like so fucked up how they do that with packaging. That's why you really need to read your labels, but it's so satisfying. It's a little clicky pen. You literally just apply it under the eyes, wherever, and it's just so good for like a no makeup look. Honestly, if you just want to even just wear this by itself, do a little powder, and then just go about your day just to feel a little bit more like highlighted and uplifted, get this. It's so good. So good. Love it. It's a product that I just discovered for the first time in 2020. Now that I've gone through a couple that were older that kind of came back, Nars released their Climax mascara, and I haven't really dabbled in Nars mascara too much in my life, but this is the new Climax mascara. They now have a black one. I think it's like their Ultra Extreme Climax or something sexual as usual with Nars. But this, I just have a little travel version. I love it. It's honestly so nice. I bought the travel version because I was literally traveling all the fucking time. My makeup bag was like, couldn't even zip it. I have like so many little makeup bags, you don't even want to know, it's fucked. But I love this. It's almost out. I need to get a new one. I might get the full size, but I have so many mascaras on the go all the time. I'm just always like, can't decide, and I don't want them to dry out, but I definitely will repurchase this. It gives you the perfect combination of like volume and length, and the formula is not so wet at first that you're like scared to sneeze or move. Like right away, it's kind of like medium dryness. So honestly, I love this so much, and the packaging is just fucking cool. Like honestly, let's just, every time you use it, you're like, this is just cool looking. And sometimes that's what makeup's about. It's a ritual, right? You reach for products, you're like, oh, love that one, love you, hey sis, love ya. It's like, I'm sorry, but like Wet n Wild packaging, like does that do anything for anyone? No. Like they have some good products, but like obviously it's drugstore, but sometimes you just want to be a little bit superficial and just enjoy the packaging for what it is as part of your makeup routine. If I'm wrong, let me know. Another product that I tried for the first time was Natasha Denona eyeshadows. Now, obviously there's certain things in life that I splurge on, definitely, and there's certain things that I'm super cheap about, but her $300 eyeshadow palettes were not something I was ready to splurge on, because I just think there's so many other affordable alternatives. You don't need to spend $300 on an eyeshadow palette. But when she released these mini palettes, I was like, okay. And the price point was really good. I think these were like $30 or something, and you get the 5 shades. Honestly, it's a decent amount of product. They're about 1 gram each, 0.8 grams each, which for eyeshadows is pretty average. It's similar to what you get in like a Anastasia palette. And so this one I honestly love. You get the jewel tone metallic, you get 2 other metallics, and then I love this one. It's perfect for like the inner rims. This is perfect for the lid, either of those. And then you get your crease color, and then your you get your kind of like blending color and your crease color. I think this palette is absolutely stunning and beautiful for the holidays, or also summertime, anytime. It's just gorgeous. And out of all the Natasha Denona mini palettes, this really struck my eye. I have another one, I have the gold bar. It's kind of more in the green vibe though. This is honestly one I always travel with, because you can do a quick nighttime look in a flash, and the colors blend so beautifully, which I was very pleased, because brands do more affordable versions of high-end or larger palettes, sometimes the quality does diminish. And I've heard people kind of judge these, saying that the quality wasn't as good, or her other palettes that are in the $87 range. I've heard them saying like it's not as good, but I'm very, very, very impressed. And I honestly don't really have a reason to go and buy the bigger palettes because all the mini ones she's releasing have like their own fun color story, and they're so affordable and they're so compact and easy to travel with. It's like, why wouldn't you just keep buying these little ones? So highly recommend, if you haven't treated yourself, buy one of these mini palettes from Natasha Denona. They're so good. Okay, next is another product I discovered in 2020. This is the Huda Beauty Demi Matte Liquid Lipstick Formula. So her matte liquid lipsticks are like, honestly, one of the best formulas I've tried. I've talked about them so many times. A lot of my Instagram pictures are using her shades, especially Sugar Mama and Bombshell. Those are like my two like ride or die bitches. Those are my favorite nudes. They're so good. But she released this Demi Matte formula. So basically it's like a demi matte, but like it's like a satin. Think of like a satin, but like plumping-ish, you know? It's like, these don't really sink into fine lines like a liquid lipstick would. Like what I'm wearing right now is probably like, sinking in a lot. But these don't do that. They kind of have that suspension over your lips to make it a little more lustrous looking. And I'm very pleased. I've been to dinner with these. I've had drinks with these. I've gotten drunk with these. I've eaten with these. And this formula does last. When brands release half matte products or like half matte shadow sticks or whatever, I always feel like they're just literally trying to play off on the matte phenomenon that everyone's after for a product that's actually like glimmery or like silky or shiny, and they're calling it like a half matte. But these are actually amazing, and I thought her releasing another range, she would basically just copy all the same shades and it'd be like boring, but she created even a whole new range of nudes, which I didn't think was possible because her original liquid lipstick nudes is just so plentiful and bountiful, and there's so many options, and it's just like amazing. I'm like a kid in a candy store, and now I have even more to try. And so this is my second one of these now. Also, I've got like so much Huda lip. It's amazing. It's one of my favorites. Highly, 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 highly recommend. Okay, next product that I fell in love with in this last year. This is obviously very well used. This is my second one. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Gel. So she created the original Dip Brow pomade that was a social media and just industry game changer, but also known as being very harsh. And it did have a learning curve, and you needed the special brush, and you needed to know what you were doing. And people that did it really well, and people that didn't do it, let's just not talk about those people. Like, let's not go back to those terms. She created this beautiful brow mascara, and that is the one. It's just perfect to like really get in to the inner and then also drag out. It is so good. I love to use this by itself for a quick brow look when I'm just on the go and I want to have something, or over top of a pencil to give more definition to like a full glam. Honestly, today I'm just using a pencil, but when I use both, I find that it's just like the best definition. And this with her brow wiz in conjunction, there's a gift set actually that I hauled recently. I'll link it below, and it was like $40 for this and the brow wiz pencil, and they're honestly such amazing products. Like, love them, love them, love them, love them. And this probably is one of the best brow mascaras I've tried, and I've tried a lot of them, and I can't believe it honestly took her so long to make this. Okay, next product, favorite of 2020. It's funny because this is not something that's new, but it also came back into my life, and I try a lot of product all the time. But for something to come back into a favorites video, I feel like is like, okay, that's something that people need to know if you're new to this channel, especially, and I haven't talked to you about my makeup preferences, you don't know me, but it is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Okay, I'm a makeup snob. I love luxury. I love all of the bougie things. I love everything at Sephora. I love everything designer. But if something is good, it's fucking good, okay? And it doesn't matter where it's from, it's good. And I've gone through so many of these Physicians Formula bronzers, and they never disappoint me. They blend out perfectly, whether it's summer, whether it's winter. I have here, this is the deep bronzer, but even for a deep, it's not like that deep. So that's the only thing. If you are darker skinned, this probably, I don't know if this would be like a dark enough shade for you. That's the only problem with this brand, is like they do gear toward more fair toned customers, even though this is called a deep bronzer. But like for me, I can pull it off all year round, even when I'm pale, if that gives you an idea, but it just blends so beautifully. It's like, if you're someone that's worried about being too heavy-handed and applying too much, and like the dreaded, like when you dip even once into a new bronzer and you're like ready for a night out, you're like, oh my God, how do I blend this out? And you're like trying to conceal over top. Like, I've been there. Like Nars Laguna matte bronzer did that for me multiple times on more than one occasion. And I've been around the block with bronzers and blending and brushes, and it's like, for that to happen multiple times, like your formula might just be like a little too intense. You know what I mean? Like you guys might need to tone it down a little bit. But this is like fucking magic, and it's affordable, and I think everyone needs one. And if you don't have it and you've never heard of it, please, if you take anything away from this video, go to the drugstore and buy this bronzer. It is amazing, amazing, and it smells good. Next product is a product that has converted me, honestly converted me. This is near and dear and dear and dear and dear and dear to my heart, and I don't think I will ever be able to not use this product for as long as I live anymore. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is my second one of these. This is the shade Light Medium, number 3. They have 5 shades. And I'm such like an anti-cream product person. I'm like a traditionalist. I'm like, oh my God, if it's a cream, like especially cream blush, like get away from me. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. Stay over there. Don't look at me. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm uncomfortable. Don't look at me like that. I don't want you. But I went to Sephora one day. This is what it looks like. I went to Sephora one day, and I was honestly coming from the gym, and I was gonna go and I think go for lunch. And I was like, you know, when you go from the gym and you're like, oh, I feel so good, I've got endorphins. And then you like check the mirror and you're like, I probably shouldn't be seen in public. Like I showered, but I was just so like red and like, you know? And so I was like, can you guys just like do my makeup really quick? Which obviously like Sephora, that's what they do. So she did my makeup. She did this all over my entire face though. And I was like, okay, a little bit aggressive. But as a result, I looked in the mirror and I was like, holy fuck, I am a dewy, luminous, glowing angel. As if the Victoria's Secret angels were on my face right now. But then as the day went on, I was like, hey, this is too luminous. But what I learned is that this is the most beautiful face highlight I've ever, I think, used in my life. Aside from Becca's Champagne Pop, thank you, Jaclyn Hill, for that. But for an everyday, glowy, lit from within, really luminous, like no metal stripe thing going on, no harshness. You blend this with a little brush after, a little sponge. I use like a flat top kabuki brush, like a little, like about this thick, just to kind of go over. This is like, oh, breathtaking. And don't be alarmed by the high price. I think it's like $60 or something. This lasts you like months and months and months and months and months. And you can mix it with foundation. You can wear it however you want. And it is just so fucking good. And I think everybody needs this, and it's life-changing. And it changed my life last year. And I need to have it in this video. Okay, just a couple of items left. I wanted to share this fragrance that I got from Munich. It smells so good. If you're a niche fragrance lover, then you need to know of this brand, because I love discovering new fragrance brands. And I love discovering niche fragrance brands that aren't like so strong and in your face that you smell like an old woman. And like, they're not so like eau de parfum where you're like literally like gagging at the beauty salon or at the store. So this is Ex Nihilo. This is from Paris, and it's a very niche fragrance brand. Apparently you can only get it in certain places in the world, including like, this is called Explicit. And I got it, I literally went to this department store. Oh, I love it. Oh, I got it from this department store, and it was honestly one of the first things I smelled. And I was like, I'm one of those people that like when I go into a store and I see something I like right away, I'm like, no, don't look at me. No. Like, you're probably the one, but I don't know if you are. I'm gonna keep browsing. That was the one. I smelled this and I was like, like, what is that? That is so unique. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like feminine, floral, a little bit of gourmand. It's just like sexy, but not too like spicy, not too like mature. It's just like very nice. And apparently they formulated this to be smelling like when a beautiful woman walks into the room and everyone notices them. That's hence the name, Explicit. And I was like, that's fucking cool. And I want to smell like that all the time, every day. So I browsed around this entire fragrance floor. It was like literally massive. There's probably like 30 niche fragrance brands. And I was like, oh my God, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And I walked around after, browsed, and I still was like, you know what? It was that first one. I want that first one. And so I got this. And if anyone ever is anywhere where you notice they sell Ex Nihilo, definitely check them out. The bottle is beautiful as well, very classy, timeless, very jewelry-esque. And the prices are kind of on par with like Barreto or Le Labo. So it's not gonna be like a cheap buy, but it's not gonna be like Creed or like Bond Number 9, like those type of spectrums. So yeah, definitely a love. And one of the favorite things I discovered in 2020, definitely my favorite fragrance of 2020. A couple left. So this is a primer that honestly is so good. And normally I'm like anti-primers. I think they're like largely a waste of money unless they're like a grip primer like this. So the Dermablend Insta Grip Jelly Primer, they actually sent this to me, but I think it's amazing and I would buy it regardless. And now I know about it. So if they don't send it to me again, which I hope they do, I'll buy it again. So this is the Insta Grip Jelly Primer. It's a 3-in-1 multitasking primer. It says it is a makeup gripping primer, an instant moisturizer, and a tightening mask. Honestly, I don't really notice like too much tightening. I do feel moisturized when I use it, but it's definitely like a gripping primer. Like it comes out as a clear jelly and you have to put it on quickly because it dries. But then when it does dry, it has a tacky feeling to it. And then it like your makeup literally like sticks. It kind of honestly reminds me of the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip primer, but honestly I find this to just be better and stronger. And I've tried that primer, but I didn't love it enough to buy like the full size. This one is amazing. And it's like drugstore luxury vibes. I think it's like 38-ish, so it's not the cheapest. But if you need a really good like gripping primer and you're not a fan of like alcohol-filled like setting sprays that dry your skin out in these winter months, definitely try this from Dermablend. It's so good. So I'll leave a picture. I discovered their illuminating banana powder this year and it is so freaking good. I'm wearing it today, you can't tell. It's like a yellow powder, photo will be here. Basically, the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder is like a fucking nightmare to me. It dries my eyes out underneath so much. And if I ever use that during the day, I literally am like the whole day, I'm like, why do I feel so tired? Why does it feel so tight? Like it's so uncomfortable. So if you're someone that hates primer or powders under the eyes that are so drying, get the Dermablend banana powder or even their regular translucent powder. They're so freaking good. And the tins are huge. And I like never run out of it. It's just so good. It's so good. You set it all over your face, all over your neck, high traffic areas. But if you want an under eye, like the banana, it gives you a little brightness. It's really good. Okay, last item is the Isle of Paradise Tanning Drops. These definitely changed my life this year. I'm so happy to discover these. I usually get the dark, which is the purple bottle. I've recently picked up the medium as I am a little more fair and I wanted a little bit like less of a stark difference if I accidentally over apply. So I have the medium, I love them. These are about $38, but they last me probably about 3 months each time. You basically just mix 2 to 3 drops in your facial moisturizer, rub it all over. They tend to develop in like 3-4 hours, I would say. I have used these all over the body as well successfully, but I just find because it's such a small thing, I like to use them just on my face and then do like a mousse everywhere else. Okay, you guys, well, those are all of my best of beauty favorites for 2020. If I have any others or I get any sudden inspo, I'll make another video. But those are all the products that at first I was like, what changed my life in 2020? What do I need to talk about? What do people need to know about? So those are things that I decided to choose and showcase in this video. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. I would love to have you back on my channel. And until next time.